Hello, my name is Edgar Corte Campoy, and I haven't made the feature version of my pirate horror teaser, KEEL HAUL.
So we're editing this episode right now, and we noticed that the audio SD card got corrupted. So we've been using camera audio, just scratch audio, to finish the rest of the episode.
We didn't want to throw out the whole conversation because we still really liked what we talked about. So apologies for the lower quality, and we hope you still enjoy.
Go.
Sam's not with us?
No Sam, so we had a little fun in the garage.
Yeah. Well, extra.
So if you notice, we're actually still in our garage, but it doesn't really look like a garage anymore, does it?
It ties in.
It ties in. We'll let you know. This is the big hook.
Yeah.
That's actually the big. We have a big hook, medium hook,
Small hook, medium hook, big hook.
a lot of hooks over here. So yeah, what are we talking about today?
Well, before we should probably do our intro.
That's right. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is Haven't Made It Yet.
An Indieknot podcast.
I'm Hayden Garrett.
And I'm Yannick. And Sam's not here today, but we're covering for her. It's going to be great. Today we have a fantastic producer speaking with us. Also prolific coordinator. Does a lot of coordinating in the commercial space. And directing, and also a fantastic writer, but most important of all, a fan of pirates.
Yes, and
Big
he's the
pirate
reason
man.
this one exists today.
Here he is.
There we go.
Edgar.
You're on.
Wow.
You got it.
They're very busy, guys.
Whoa. Are we doing it on the pirate ship?
Yeah.
I didn't know
We
that.
did it just for the pod.
Just for the pod,
Not for
man.
your short films.
How
Just for the
you
pod.
guys doing? Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's been too long.
Burlap.
we got a nice
A nice, period accurate,
song arrangement.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Get those on.
If you want, you don't have to win.
No, I like it. I like it. Yeah. It'll get that hair out of my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then feel free to move this. You kind of.
Cool. I've never done this before, so
It's okay. You're in good hands.
yes.
Hey PA, can we get the garage? Thank you.
Thanks, Jake.
And a latte for yourself.
Right this.
Thank you. Jake, wait, before we go.
What is this is like this is from the crew.
Yeah.
Did I get this?
No.
Did I get this for our crew?
No.
Is it like it's like what oh is this what for me?
That's also for you.
Oh dude, that PA is great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jake. For
Reading my mind. Thank you.
Latte will be here in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. That's usually the wait time.
It's already getting so hot in here.
It's gonna be smoking.
Oh, it's fine. You didn't get that hot on set. Was it this hot? On set?
On
in and
set,
out.
so this was the set.
Oh, okay. I'm getting ahead of myself.
And Edgar, we had as our director for a short
Yeah.
about pirates, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had about, what would you say, was it 15 people in this little tiny nook? That I
think we were 12.
12 people?
12. Yeah.
That was a lot. I have a photo which can I share some like little beats?
Yeah.
on this?
No, of course. Yeah.
Because I have a photo of like a wide angle of like
everyone.
almost every single person on set doing one little thing, and it was just a hodgepodge.
No, and nobody complained. I mean, everyone was like such a real team player. Like the actors were like totally okay, just like, waiting for us to get this stuff together to like roll. It was really nice.
Joe sent
Yeah.
a really sweet message.
Oh, really?
Joe was one of the actors.
Joe, one of the actors, today, and he was like, "The smell, of the set helped me so much."
Did
I
it?
never thought about it.
Really?
That like the like aroma is like an element. It makes sense,
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't know if you remember. I I said as a joke, but
Yeah.
I told Yannick the night before. I was like, oh, what if we just bring a bunch of fish? Just to
Oh.
like really give them the. And Yannick was like, "Yeah, I don't think so, but that's a nice idea."
Yeah, we had Home Depot barrel smell.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
that's great. I wouldn't have thought that it actually like they actually caught a smell and then they
Yeah.
bought them.
I'm out.
That was good.
Nice.
It is funny. I
Yeah.
was talking to the hair and makeup person who was on Pirates of the
Oh,
Caribbean.
Jed? Yeah,
and,
he's great.
and he was saying like the same thing where he was like, I'm doing a pirate thing. He's like, great, I'm in. He's like, it's gonna be in someone's garage. He was like, oh, oh, what did I get into?
Yeah.
And then he came in and he was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, this
I
is
know.
crazy.
I know. No, it's funny because I feel like it also takes. I mean, I don't know how you guys do this. Like it's humble. Like honestly, like truly humble. But like when I first showed Julia, the very first like structure, she was having a really hard time. Like her reaction was more like maybe a little more concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But she's not trying to make me feel like shit. But I was sure. I never doubted it. I was like, no, it's gonna look good. And obviously, you know, what you guys did in Tendon, which you directed, and you also were second credit, and you were also production center. What you guys did was like it really it amazed me, but it also gave me just like the confidence of like, no, this is gonna look good, right? And you know, the passion behind, you know, a lot of factors. But I never doubted it. Like truly, I never doubted it once. I was like, I know it's gonna work. It doesn't matter even, you know, how like small or big. Like for me, it was really the space. Like for mostly for the actors, it's like it's so limited, right? But I never doubted for a second. But I feel like it takes a lot of vision and a lot of creativity to like really see the end goal. So like honestly, congrats! Like you guys really killed it. I will not stop saying it. Like honestly,
I wanted to ask you guys because I've been thinking about this, the like back and forth on is free work, you know, the old for working for exposure meme, you know, free work bad. But I feel like to some degree, like all the coolest stuff, I mean, I hate to put this out there for the wrong people to hear it, but a lot of the coolest stuff that I've made has come through meeting people through free work. But I also can't only do free work.
Yeah.
So like, what are you guys' thoughts on doing free work and this, like a favor economy, you could call it?
yeah. It's such a. I feel like that subject has so many layers, and it's so circumstantial. Like I myself hate asking people to work for free. Like I just hate it. I don't tend to do it. Like I usually don't do it, but like I am at the same time very blunt because I have a lot of experience in like shorts and you particularly very ambitious like period piece shorts with like very limited money. So when I'm making the budget, I'm trying and raising the funds. I'm trying to like think of like, well, what is something that is like, you know, what is something that it's fair enough for like what we're trying to do, and then you just offer that, and then say, hey, this is what we have. But I feel like the key is really to say like these are the conditions we're working with. Like this is what it's gonna take. You know, I've done I myself have never been paid for like a single short or you know like any passion project. I've never been paid, and I like offering. Actually, I think it's this weekend or next weekend. I'm gonna be jumping on my friend's short because I know he's doing it, and I just offered him. I was like, dude, just use me. I'm here, right? Because I know what it's also like. Now I don't expect people to do that, but I am trying to be as honest as possible. It's like if you want to jump, that's great. This is what we're trying to do, and this is what it will require. If you're comfortable with that, then great. And if you're not, that's fine. Like I'll keep it in mind for the next one, and I feel like also it's like some people might say yes first, you know, for a project, and then some people might just say no for another project.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like because it is true. It's like the best projects I've ever done is like I've never gotten paid for them, but they are the projects that lead me to also meet really cool people, and have. In some capacity, like further my career, and I say in some capacities because I still don't get paid to do any of this, right? Like I stick with commercials, like coordinating, PMing, line producing, like just like stuff that I know can keep me afloat. But even that is just like it's quite a lot, you know. Like you work like 10 days, you get a really good paycheck, but then for 2 months you won't like work, you know.
Well, you never know. You just gotta keep going and keep doing what you love and what you want to do.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do want to give you praise with, I mean, you like allowing us to, like, you see the vision, and obviously it's really difficult to see the process for all these things. I'm sure it's not just art included, but like when wardrobe was going through, when hair and makeup was giving ideas. It's always a process to get to the point of the final product, and you do have to give a lot of trust, which I believe you, out of anybody that I've worked with, gave a whole bunch of trust to Yannick and I, as well as so many other people. That's like, yeah, I see that it's just a whole bunch of wood right now on a wall, but like I know that you all know that what the intention is. But it takes a certain kind of person that gives that. So I do want to kind of go back a little bit into seeing like what your upbringing was and where you came from and how you got into film.
Well, I'm from Mexico City. Do I go that far?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, when were you born? What time?
November. Well, February. I was conceived.
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, I'm November, so probably.
Yeah.
Like probably around February. Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably. My parents are romantic. So yeah, I was born in Mexico City. I was raised there. I came to the U.S. when I was 19. I went to this university called Full Sail University. I had a lot of fun. I met really, really cool people. Actually, one of the people that I met, my friend, terrific producer, Francisco. He's the one who introduced me to Yannick, which
and he's been on the podcast.
And he's been on the podcast too, yeah. And with him, I met a lot of people. We just like kind of all migrated again to LA with knowing absolutely nobody, and it was just like, try to find work. I was under O1 visa, OPT is called. OPT, and that was like it lasts just for a year, so I was kind of like in that time frame, like I was like racing against time of like, well, I gotta make the best out of this year because then I have to go back. And then when that I was here 2018 to 2019, and that's when like the pandemic started hitting. I was here for a little bit longer because I was starting my process with the O1, which is like they call it the talent visa, and then just pandemic hit, and I just came back. I just went back. Now during that whole period of time where I was in LA, it was just the typical like, I'll do whatever I can. I've done everything. Right? I think. I mean, IAC. Talk about work for free. I signed on for this feature where I was a second AC and media manager, and I didn't have a car, and it was oh man, that was like awful. It was like 2 hours to get there with the public transportation.
Wow.
And then 12-hour days, and then I was the last one to leave because we were like not in a hard out. So like people would leave, and I was just like still media managing. Yeah, that whole year was like everything. I PA'd. I snuck into a lot of sets. Like that was like what I did first. I was like, I'll sneak in and act like I was hired.
What's your way? How do you sneak in?
Just being a good liar.
It's like, do you need a walkie or anything or something? I've always
no. I don't know. I don't know because like you just. I don't want to encourage anyone here to like do that.
Yeah, allegedly.
Actually, I allegedly did this.
Yeah.
No, I mean I would never, but once like act. Like, I would always, like, get into the PO and be like, hey...
How did you find the PO? Like, how did you even
Dude,
know?
you just, like... What I've realized on set is, like, nobody really knows anything but their department, for the most part. So you just go with a set decorator and you're like, hey, do you know where the PO is? And they're like, oh, no. But maybe that PA will know. And then you go to that PA and it's like, hey, I'm an office PA. Like, in the PAs, they don't typically... Again, I'm indie filmmaking, so maybe I'm like saying something totally wrong. But in my experience, they just don't. Office PAs and PAs don't meet. So it's like, oh, okay, so he's from the office. So I'm like, oh, where's the PO? And they're just like, oh, it's over there. And then you just go and then you ask for like, dude, I'm giving like keyword. You're gonna have to cut this, like, and then you just like try to talk to the. Well, at that point, when I got out of film school, I thought it was the second AD who brought the PAs. Like I was totally wrong. So I would always ask for a second AD. Now I know it's the coordinator, the PM, or the line producer, and you just like go up to them and be like, "Hey, like I'm here."
And the union sets.
I would do you. Yeah. Well, I would sneak on union sets.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I mean they would just for the most part they would just like but she said like, I'm sorry, I can't hire you. And it's like, okay. I got my first gig that I ever got hired as a director. I also produced, and it was like the first time I guess I produced because I was just like, just putting stuff together, right? It's like making it happen. And one of my friends saw what I was doing, and he was like, hey, I think you'd be a good producer. Do you want to produce my short? And I was like, sure. And from there, we just kind of made a team, and we started doing things. But they were very ambitious projects. Like the very first one I made with them, it was like about these puppets. Directed my very, very good friend Manuel, who's super talented too. And it was like this like process of world building, right? And that kind of led to another one called Nahum, which is also world building. And then we had another one which was like called Sons of God, which was like a period piece. And then this other one called The Devil's Blood, which was period piece. I don't know if I answered you because
with world building, what do you mean by that? Of like crafting like the fantasy related, or
yeah, I mean, so in a way, like I guess how I see world building is like a period piece in a sense is world building because like it's your take on that period to a certain degree, right? Like the projects I've made, they're all like based on a real period, but they're fiction. So for example, there's this one called The Devil's Plot that it's in New Spain. It's set in the early 1800s in New Spain, and there's like it's like a folk tale, like a folk tale. So there's like rules you basically have to make up, and there's things that you want to stay period accurate. So it's kind of like juggling that. So maybe I don't know if I'm using world building like in the correct sense.
I like it.
Because like KEEL HAUL, for example, is world building. Because like it has a lot of, and I'm sorry, it has a lot of like period accuracy things that you want to keep, but there's also things that you're just like, well, the narrative just wants like it's asking for like this other things, right? Like some fantasy elements. So you also do those, and then you have to like figure out how to connect them and make them feel like organic as a story.
And it's something that really helps, like an example of this background, Yannick and I were going into the way of like, like pirates keep a good job on their ship, and they're like, if we're trying to do it, we would like try to make it a little bit more upkeep, and you notice that, and you're like, oh, like I know this is how it's gonna be doing, but like in this story that we're trying to tell, like it helps in the narrative to have it be gunky and so that instantly like pushed us into the direction you wanted to, and it was just good. Like I mean, if you told that the day of shooting, that would have been difficult, but since you saw it like the first day we were building, like we easily were like directed into the right path.
So a lot of your shorts have like this emphasis on art department world building. So you saying essentially that's kind of coincidence? Because I feel like that's like a lot of your style.
I think it's both. I think some people have approached me because like when I produce, for example, like a lot of people have seen my past work, and if they have something similar, they're like, oh, like, are you interested? And if it's good, I am interested, right? But then what I pursue, I feel like a lot of it is period pieces or world building stuff, which just excites me a lot.
Yeah.
It really, really excites me.
Oh, I'm the exact same way.
In a way, it's like almost my comfort zone. You know? Like it's comfortable to rely on these like amazing, like I don't want to say just visuals, but like periods where like if you do a good job, everything you shoot is just pretty.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a cheat code.
Yeah, a little bit of it's a crutch because it's like
a
cool like pirate thing or whatever.
Yeah.
The acting was great, but if it hadn't been, like, oh, it's still pretty
it's still cool, right? Yeah. No, honestly.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then with that, a little bit more specifically to KEEL HAUL, this stuff. I love the dialogue. It feels so period accurate. I don't know if it is, but you said you even had made a list about all the words to use and not use as you were making that. How do you come up with this dialogue? Because it's as if you speak pirate, but it's in a way learning a whole new language. Is there a thesaurus? Is there movies that you're referencing? How did you make that dialogue happen?
I think with this one specifically, it was my first time in English adapting it into like an old period. But I feel like it's a lot of the same process when I've written in Spanish, because I have two different projects where we've used linguists. Like we just go to like a really good university and we just like this project called Sons of God that I co-wrote with my friend Sebastian. Him and I, we basically just wrote the script as how we want it, and you kind of picture a little bit of like how you do your best for the dialogue to make it sound somewhat nice for the period, but also is like your characters are saying, you write it with what the intention is behind. And then we worked with these linguists that they adapted. Her name is Veronica, and then and she adapts, like she basically adapts the old letters from Spaniards in like the conquest of Mexico, and she like traduces them, translates them, sorry, into modern Spanish, because obviously it's very, very different. So she like reversed the process, and she was just like, okay, they would say it like this, right? And then you start studying from those like letters, like, oh, what does this mean? What does that mean? I like this word. I don't like this word. Or like you find a middle where like in that particular situation, it was like she would just rewrite it as they would have in a formal like letter. And you're like, well, we gotta find a middle ground, because like I don't talk like how I like email people. It's like very formal, like best or one regards and stuff like that, right? Like I don't say that. So you also have to find what are the colloquial words that they use.
Yeah.
Obviously, that requires a lot of research. She like in that project in Sons of God, she like had like she taught us, like she had like a lecture for Sebastian and I. We started writing down rules, and then you start really have to study the period of like, well, if they come from this part of Spain, how they talk, or if they come from this other part of Spain, maybe they just came back from war, so maybe they wouldn't have higher education, so they wouldn't use these words, and they would have this accent, and then you start getting into the accents, right? It's a whole process for sure. It takes a long time, but I feel like it's always like just making a research with whatever you can get with like internet, or with like in the cases in Spanish, I've done it with like linguists that they're just interested in the project. And like for example, Veronica, she was like in doing her doctorate in pre-Hispanic. I'm not sure actually.
Historic, blah blah blah.
Something.
So you just cold called her, and she was like, "Cool."
Well, that was Sebastian. That was all Sebastian. Sebastian met Sebastian. Actually, no, that's not true. We met her through another linguist. That I don't remember if it was my friend Manuel or Sebastian who they contacted from another project we did. That it has like its own language that was like made up with like sounds of the jungle and stuff. Yeah, it's really fun.
I'm writing a book that kind of has that.
Really?
It's so cool.
You're writing a book?
Softly.
Really?
Long 10-year plan.
Well, yeah, and it sounds like writing a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just love the like digging into essentially the Silmarillion, which like the Lord of the Rings is essentially like Tolkien was like a language professor, and so the entire book is just him playing with language, and then it turned into this whole story thing, and kind of deriving, and a lot of inspiration came when we went to Greece. And Greece has this a lot, but deriving like a god that is specific to woodworking or whatever, and then deriving all of the people that live in the forests, names and traditions out of that god's like a vowel in that god's name, and kind of having. I really like the idea of building a world where you can tell based on the spelling where that person is from.
Totally. Because it showcases in the real world, right?
Exactly.
Like some words I use are different because I'm from Mexico, and then some other words are different because you're from Germany, and then other words are different because you're American, right? So it's like the way we talk, the way we express ourselves is very. But because we're in LA, we also like have. So I feel like the way to think about it is like think about it in modern times, right? It's like, well, not everyone from Mexico speaks the same way. So if you're making a movie about Mexico, like with Mexican characters, where are they from?
Yeah.
In Mexico City. Okay, in Mexico City, there's like different accents. Where are they from? What is like their, what is their environment? Like where are they? Like in which neighborhood? And then you have to get into the neighborhood. It's like what are they saying in that neighborhood? So I feel like that, but then you got to do it in history, which is in a way, I don't want to say it's easier. It's definitely not easy, but I feel like since it's
more
all
forgiving sometimes.
it's
I
more
feel like.
forgiving because like
People don't know.
People don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, for Keel Haul, I think that the research was a lot of going to different. There's obviously like there's books, but a lot of my like where my the glossary the document that I did. Well, it's a glossary. It's a document for the feature version, where there's like historical context. There's like like real characters like that. Can give some sense of the backstory of some characters.
Words you don't want to use. You said booty.
There's like there's definitely words that I'm like not using arg. We're not using booty. Like there's a lot of things like that. But then you do within that glossary, you like also like, well, what are the more casual words that they would use? But for Kill specifically was like a lot of like there's a lot of websites with just like different
verbiage.
Like things you would like, how would you curse someone, and then they just have like all of these like this like really big list. And then the other big research I did was Shakespeare. Like I just started reading Shakespeare.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I mean I steal like straight up like steal 2 or 3 lines.
Yeah.
In like not in this one, but in the short, it's like, dude, this is great. Like I'm just gonna keep it.
Yeah.
And you just like honestly use it. Maybe you change like one word or something, but or just like having it next to the script, and you just like read it, and then it gives you an idea for something else, and then you have all of these other words, and then you just start. I think the main thing is like knowing what they actually mean.
Yeah.
Knowing what actually like you have to know, especially for the prep of the actors. They would come in with questions like, what is this like? What does this mean? And I'll be like, oh, this means, like what is the briny deep? Like the briny deep is like a way they would talk about the sea. Like it's basically ocean. That's it.
Yeah.
Like so also having like briny deep equals ocean.
Okay.
Like things like that, and then it's like, oh, I'm talking about ocean, so I would go back to the document and I would just say, like, oh, what are they trying to say? Ocean. Okay, well, briny deep, and then you just start really constructing the sentences that way.
Wrapping things up, where do you want to be in 10 years? Where does Edgar specifically want to be?
Hopefully just happy, whatever that looks like.
In a ship.
Sailing towards the briny deep.
What is happy?
I'm not sure. Not that I have never been happy, obviously. It's like,
I don't know.
No, I don't know. Don't know I want to.
It's kind of a hard question, honestly.
Yeah, because now, like, before it was like 18 to 28, and now it's like 28 to 38. Like, I don't know what that looks like, man. Where do I want?
It's almost 40.
Don't fish.
Alright. Gotta change it to like 5 years.
Yeah,
so let's scare people as
Well, we
much.
did 5, but then people were complaining that it was too soon.
No, it's 10. It should
Okay,
be
10.
10.
Okay, so I'm gonna give something a better answer just for the viewers.
Okay.
Hopefully still doing. Hopefully what I'm doing right now. Like being with Julia, working with my friends, but hopefully also like getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Like all of us getting paid for it, and just try to have as much fun in pursuing just films or shows or shorts. I don't know. But yeah, I know it's such a cheat answer to say happy, but truly, like I just want to be happy, whatever that looks like. To be totally honest, like whether that's in LA, in Mexico, and I don't know where I'm gonna be living, but. Just making these projects but for real, I guess.
Yeah.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Such a privilege. So I don't know when the next time I'll be directing something is. It took me 7 years to do something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the related question is, in 10 years, if you had to say something to yourself, what would it be? We're gonna record it now, and we'll send it to you in 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What a bold bold assumption that I'm still gonna be alive. No, I'm kidding. It's really dark. I'm
We're
sorry.
recording it and putting that SD card in.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, great. You can play with for my loved ones if
We're
worst,
playing it
worst
at
comes to
your
worst.
But we can live to 90, so that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Um, that's so harsh. Like, do I look at the camera and say
You
it?
can do whatever you want. Look at us, look at the camera.
Wow, that's
But
such a
talking to you.
That's such a deep question, man. I am like totally blown away by it. Be hopefully you found a way to feel proud of your work.
Hmm.
That's very, very shallow. I feel like it has to be something better. Um,
You can't even be proud of that.
yeah.
You can't. You can't.
Should I go like a really dark route? Like, hopefully you love yourself.
No, but
No. Shit, man. That's such a hard question. I'm so sorry. I'm such the wrong.
Don't worry about it. Maybe what I think is always interesting in time capsules, which I never put in time capsules, is like what is the stuff, the boring, menial stuff that I'm liking, that I like right now. This is the reason I should have a journal. I don't have a journal.
Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite food was when I was 5,
Yeah.
but I would sure like to know. And that would be kind of interesting. I feel like,
Yeah.
or like, what is the thing that's stressing you out the most? What is the thing that you love the most? What is a failure you had that I had when I was 5? You know. That,
Yeah.
Start small, but think too big, maybe.
I don't know, man, because my mind first goes with like it goes very existential. Of
Yeah,
like
that's
I'm
fine
such
too.
a different person. Like
Yeah.
It really messes with me to think that what was huge 10 years ago for me, like what was my world, I could forget in 10 years. I already
yeah.
forgot. It's very interesting to think like that the most important things in our life in an era, in a different era, whether it's 20 or 10 or 7 years from now, they just become dust.
Yeah.
So I think what I would say to myself in 10 years is just find a way to enjoy, like take every day. Sounds so like buy my book, but not out of help book, but take every day with a lot of care. Like hopefully you did take a moment each day and just be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
Word.
It's your message.
I'm gonna be in
It's your
10 years. In
message.
10 years, I'm gonna be like,
Survey says.
fuck me. Yeah, maybe like I said that. I'm gonna be cringing in 10 years. No, well, hopefully, yeah, that is what I. I'm not sure.
Feels not proud of it.
I'm not proud of it. No, but hey, I did my best, and that's all I can do.
That's all any of us can
That's
do.
all I can do. Yeah. But so, how do you wrap these things? Like, you say thank you, or like
We fade
We
out.
do say
You just
thank
fade
you.
out.
We
Okay,
say thank
cool.
you.
Oh,
Edgar,
yeah,
for
thank
being
you.
on.
Sorry,
And
no,
thank
no,
you
no.
for letting this whole thing happen. Like, I mean,
Are you kidding? No, thank you.
but I mean, and you said it too, of like working on short films. You do it because you get to do stuff like this, and this is why Yannick and I do it. Like, I mean, when are we ever gonna build a pirate ship again? Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, by doing this, one, I can say, like, I can check that off my list, not knowing that was on the list,
Yeah.
but and now I can have experience of doing it. So it's like there is a ton of value, and it's so much fun to be a part of this.
No, thank you. I mean, that means the world to me, because like it seemed very impossible, man. Truly. Like the short, because they're so short, and it's way more ambitious, right? And I'm gonna wrap this up. Like, it feels so impossible that Dakota and I have been trying to make it for like almost like 2 years. Passively, because I feel like both of us knew that it was so massive what we're trying to do that we just, life gets in the way. There's other projects that come up, like all these things. But that it was like a Hail Mary, like this teaser is like a Hail Mary for it. And, when I don't know how I pitched it to you guys, but I want to pitch it to people, it's like, this is not just a teaser. Like, for me, it's like a very big step into what it could be, possibly. Because here's the reality: we could make the best fucking teaser in the world, and it just could lead us nowhere, or it could lead us somewhere. We won't know.
Yeah.
But at least if we put all of our passion because we don't know if we're gonna do something after, right? So if we put all of our passion, at least we're gonna like be satisfied and proud of like the thing we made with what we had, right? So yeah, pursuing this it really felt like an absolutely impossible task, man. Like I had no clue. And honestly, Yannick, like I attribute like the last push I needed was you saying like, dude, let's just do it, because like I had no clue. Like art is like the biggest thing I want to say, in these projects, and without that last push, man, I don't know if we would have done this one. I mean, maybe I would have pursued it, or it wouldn't have come out like this. Like that's for sure, right? So I want to thank you, man. Like truly.
Thank you for trusting me and us with
Yeah, of course.
your baby.
It was a no-brainer, man. When I saw Tendon, it was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
It was like that. Those guys made a sewer in their garage. I can hopefully do this.
Always up for another garage challenge. You know? That's not an open invitation, but
Hey,
to you it is.
thank you. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like I want to do like a comedy next or something. Just like two guys in a couch. And try to make it just like work in my apartment.
We can put a couch in here.
Oh fuck! What if it's a garage, like a living room?
We can make a
garage.
living room set.
Yeah.
In the garage.
But you have a living room there.
No,
No, fuck it.
gotta
Let's
be
just do a set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fake. It's gotta be fake.
It's gotta be fake, man. So then we show it. And people are like,
This is Haven't Made It Yet, an Indieknot production hosted by Hayden Garrett and Yannick Garrett. Music produced by Harrison Garrett. Want to become an Indieknotty today? Join our mailing list, link in the description. Have an idea for our next guest? Email us, indieknotfilms@gmail.com. Support us by leaving a review and rating us on anywhere you listen to podcasts.